welcome, Jen here, and today we are going to be talking about the science of neuroplasticity and how your brain actually changes when you're learning new things. You put yourself into new situations so that you can stretch and grow, and it's what I call discovery environments, and we'll talk about that more in just a moment. First of all, if you're new to me, my name's Jen Kunkel. I'm the creator of the Wild Worth methodology to empower you to stop feeling insignificant and to unleash your wild, savvy self so that you know who you are, what you stand for, and you can actually take inspired actions to create the life that you dream of, which does not necessarily mean material stuff, something that's truly fulfilling within your heart. All right, so part of that is to learn how to stretch and get outside of your comfort zone, because if you're just always comfortable, if you're just always doing things that you feel comfortable with, you actually start to confine yourself. Like think of a plant that you put into a small pot, say, and it wants to grow more, but there's no room to grow because it's just staying in this really small environment where it feels safe and comfortable, but also it feels uncomfortable because it starts to feel like contracting and it's just crammed in there. So if you are able to replant the plant into a bigger pot, it has room to grow. It's a new environment and it could be shocking, and you have to be careful and you have to, do certain things the right way, or, the plant could go into shock. Well, you're probably not going to go into shock and die for putting yourself into a situation that you're uncomfortable with, but I know sometimes it can feel like it. For example, I used to be super shy and absolutely terrified of public speaking. And here I am now making videos. I actually took an F in my 8th grade English class because we had to give 3 speeches. I gave the first one and I was like, no, I'm not doing the other ones. My grades are good enough that I can afford to take an F for this quarter, semester, whatever. It was going to be like my whole grade, and I thought I was going to get an F, but I think I only got a D because, I don't know, maybe because I did one of them. Anyway, it averaged out, it was fine. But yeah, I was super terrified of giving the speeches, and I did not know how to put myself out of my comfort zone at the time. The only reason I gave the first one is because I was really like, follow the rules, do the right thing. But that's how terrified I was of speaking, as I did not give the other 2 speeches. I absolutely refused to get in front of the class again. Same thing in 6th grade. I did a written presentation that we had to give orally in front of the class, and I just remember thinking I was going to pass out. Anyway, so since then, obviously, I have put myself out of my comfort zone. What really helped, weirdly enough, just kind of a side note if you have a similar phobia of speaking, is I took a theater class in my senior year, and then also when I had to take public speaking in college as a requirement the same semester, as an elective, I took a drama class, and for some reason just being in front of people and pretending to be somebody else was easier for me than getting up and speaking at the time. But then I joined Toastmasters, I did other speaking for other college classes, and it got more comfortable and it got easier. So, I was an officer in the Society of Women Engineers, so I had to get up in front of my classmates there and speak. So just the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And I would say now that I got myself to be comfortable being uncomfortable. So if you put yourself in what I call discovery environments, you get more comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's how you learn and you grow. And so the discovery environments are part of pillar 2 of the Wild Worth methodology that I have, where you're influencing your environments. So you're doing different things. There's physical environment, mental environment, social environment, and your physical space and your physical body, and then discovery environments. I feel like I missed one there, but that's okay. We'll get to it another time. Anyway, it's really, really cool because I remember the neuroplasticity. So I've been kind of like following some people that are talking about neuroscience and the neuroplasticity of your brain. I actually took some psychology classes also in the past, a long, long time ago. I don't even remember. But I know there's like neurons firing and synapses and dopamine, and there's chemicals going on in your brain that cause you to have like the fight or flight response. They cause you to kind of that monkey mind that goes on in the back of your head when you start to make progress on something, and it starts to go, this is scary, or something like that, and you have to push past that. So one neuroscientist that I was listening to says you need to push past that because it's I forget now, some chemical is firing and it is kind of blocking you to try to get you to stop doing what you're doing, even though it's not really dangerous in most cases. And you got to push through that, and then you get the dopamine reward of accomplishment. Okay. So you push through that, you just you can logically tell yourself, okay, this is just chemicals firing in my brain because it's something new, and I need to learn how to get comfortable with this, get comfortable being uncomfortable. That means I'm growing, it means I'm doing the right thing, it means I'm on the right track, and go forward, and then you get that reward dopamine. So the other thing with neuroplasticity, which is something else that I was reading about, is that the more you, as you do something new, it creates a new pathway in your brain. And the more you do that new thing, the more it reinforces that same pathway, and it makes it stronger and stronger and stronger, just like working out. So if you do something new, like one thing that it's kind of not a success story here because I have attempted to play guitar since I was in my 20s. I took lessons, and I've not really ever practiced consistently over the long term. So I can do a few little things, and that's about it. But every time it kind of makes my fingers sore, so I end up I can only play for 5 minutes, and then I forget to pick it up. I don't even actually have my guitar with me right now. So anyway, if I were to be consistent with that, I would be creating these pathways, the neural pathways, and they would be getting reinforced every time. So anytime you do something new, it's creating new neural pathways. A way to think about that is if you're walking through tall grass or something, say you're walking through some tall grass, hasn't been walked through before, and you make a path and you go through it, and it kind of tramples the grass down just a little bit. But if you don't go back there, then the grass just kind of, grows back, or it fluffs back up, and you don't really see the trail anymore. You don't really see the pathway. Maybe it's kind of a little bit there. But the more you go over it, back and forth and back and forth, it really creates that trail, and it makes it easier to walk on it. So same when you're creating the neural pathways and you're doing something new, you're going, it makes it easier every time you do it. And then you can, try something a little bit harder, and it creates more pathways. So that's really cool too. So if you want to grow and you want to accomplish something that you haven't accomplished before, then you need to put yourself into, again, what I call discovery environments, which is ways to learn new things, to get yourself out of your comfort zone and learn something new. So I'm huge on learning new things. I love learning new things now. The other thing I wanted to say about that is that, they used to say that you are who you are and you can't change who you are. But I disagree with that because I am an example of that. Because a lot of things, like in a lot of ways, I don't recognize myself from who I used to be because I was so shy. I was just so timid. And also, sometimes I would tell little white lies because I was really uncomfortable saying no to people. And, I hate that because honesty is like a huge, huge value for me. And it kind of always has been. I just was so uncomfortable saying no to people that I would maybe make up something because I felt like I needed to give an excuse or a reason. I'm not, so and now learning about this neuroplasticity, it is like your brain can change so much that it can kind of change who you are at any age. And this was a long time ago when I got comfortable with learning how to tell the truth and be honest and say no without having to tell the little white lies, which is great. So I just kind of wanted to throw that in there if you feel like, oh, I'm too old to learn something new, or, oh, I'm too set in my ways to learn something new. It's not true. You totally can. Anybody can at any age, at any time, under any circumstances. Trust me, I was terrifyingly shy if you knew me back then. Totally different person. I was like afraid of a little girl saying hi to me when I was walking by on the sidewalk. Granted, this was like something when I was in elementary school. So it's just something that if you set your mind to putting yourself out there to stretch a little bit every single day, get outside your comfort zone in even the tiniest of ways, eventually you'll be able to get out of your comfort zone in bigger and bigger and bigger ways. And if you want to create something in your life that you have not had before, then you're going to need to get out of your comfort zone and do things that you have never done before. Do things that other people aren't willing to do, and create your dream life that way. Okay, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I want to hear from you. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will talk to you soon. Much love. You are more powerful than you know. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you next time.